So I feel like it's that time again for me to make a video of all the books that TikTok, specifically BookTok, made me read. But this is not that video. This one is just all the rom-coms that TikTok made me read. I just feel like the list for all of the books that TikTok made me read is just so long and it's still growing. So I'm gonna save that video, like all the genres of books that I've read because of BookTok. I'm gonna save that video for another one, and this one is gonna be all of the rom-coms that TikTok made me read. And most of the books that I'm gonna be talking about are books that I have not mentioned on my channel before. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope you guys are excited for some new recommendations. For one of the books that I'm gonna be talking about today, I literally saw one TikTok, like one TikTok came up on my For You page. It was the first time I'd ever heard of the book. I saw the TikTok, I exited the TikTok app, I went on Amazon, and I bought the book all in the span of like 3 minutes. And I'm gonna tell you guys today if it was worth it or not, and if you should be making those impulse buys from BookTok. Let's get started. Okay guys, I'm interrupting this video really quick to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, which is Glasses USA. I am so excited to be working with them. I absolutely adore them. So thank you so much to them for sponsoring today's video. Okay, I have 3 of their glasses right here and I am so obsessed with them. So I'm going to show you guys how they look like on my face. I feel like Iron Man with these glasses and I am not mad about it. I had to get a pair of clear glasses. This is the first time I'm trying these on and I love them. This last pair, I haven't even tried these on and I already know they're gonna be my favorite. I just decided I'm gonna be wearing these every single day. So what Glasses USA does is by cutting off the middleman, they offer prescription glasses at up to 70% off retail prices. You don't even have to leave your house and you can shop online with affordable prices and free shipping. You can add up to any prescription on almost every single one of their frames, including sunglasses. They offer over 6,000 styles of sunglasses and eyeglasses, from in-house brands to designer brands. Something I love about them is that it's a total risk-free experience. They have free shipping and returns, and they offer an 100% money-back guarantee and a 365-day warranty. A complete pair of glasses starts at only $30. They also offer blue light blocking lenses that can be applied to any pair of glasses on the site. And if you weren't convinced yet, they also offer a virtual mirror, so you can literally try on the glasses before buying them. I definitely recommend you guys trying Glasses USA, and if you're interested in any of the 3 pairs that I showed you guys, I'm gonna have them all linked down below. Thank you so much to Glasses USA for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the video. So I'm going to start off with the book that I don't have a physical copy of, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg Me. So I actually read that book back in September, and I remember being in the middle of another book, like literally like in the middle of another book, and I kept seeing TikToks of this book, The Wall of Winnipeg Me. So I stopped reading the book that I was currently reading, and I got the book on my phone and I read it in like a day and a half because it was so freaking good. So I can already tell you right now that that book was not a disappointment. I loved that book. It was hyped up just the perfect amount. So obviously this is like a romance situation, and the romance is between a very successful, very good NFL player. His name is Aaron, and his assistant. So it's like an assistant and her boss type of relationship, but it's very messy, and let me tell you why. Off the field, Aaron is very rude, he's arrogant, he's bossy, he's mean, the whole thing. He doesn't have a lot of friends, which you can tell why. And then there's Vanessa, and Vanessa is his assistant and has been his assistant for like 2 years. If there was like an assistant award, she would get it. She's a very good assistant. So she finally decides, I'm gonna quit. Like, I'm not gonna work for this person anymore. He's very rude, he doesn't appreciate what I do, I'm out. And then she begins living her life, you know, not working for him, until one day, a couple weeks after she quit, he shows up at her doorstep. Not just that though, he's asking her for a favor, and that favor isn't just like, oh, like pick me up at the airport or like come back and work for me. No, he asked her to marry him. It's basically like the proposal where he's about to get deported because he, like, his visa expired or something like that. So he's about to get deported to Canada and he needs to marry an American citizen. And he, because he sounds like such a ray of sunshine, he doesn't have many friends. So he doesn't really have anybody that he can go to and be like, marry me. It's basically like a fake marriage situation. Grumpy sunshine, like he is the grumpiest, she is the most sunshine, bubbly person ever. If you're looking for a book that's like touch her and I'll kill you type of vibes, you know what I'm talking about? Like the guy will kill you if you touch the girl. He is that guy. TikTok did not disappoint with this book. I loved it. And if you're thinking of reading something like that, or if you were interested in this book, definitely go read it. Next, I'm going to be talking about The Wedding Date, and I don't think I've ever talked about this book on my channel before, which is, I don't know why I've never talked about it, because now that I remember, I've only read it once and I read it like over a year ago, but I remember this book being very, very good and the storyline was very endearing. So here's my time to talk about it. So I feel like this book is very, very straightforward. There's not a lot to explain in case you wanted to read it. It's basically about Alexa and Drew. They both basically find themselves in San Francisco in the same elevator at the same time, and to make it even cuter, the elevator gets stuck. So that's how they meet for the very first time. They basically get to talking when they're stuck in this elevator, and Drew tells her that the reason that he's here is because his ex invited him to her wedding. So he's like freaking out because he doesn't have a date to the wedding. And weirdly enough, in the short amount of time that they're stuck in that elevator, they really like get to talking about each other. And at the end, he's like, wait a second, like, do you want to be my date to this wedding? She's not the spontaneous type, but she's like, you know what, whatever, like, I've never done this before, but let me be the date to your wedding. I'll get like a free food, I'll get like drinks, it'll be a fun time. So the only thing that I kind of like had to catch up on with this book is that the whole, like, the way that the book is set out to be, you think it's going to be all about the wedding and like everything that happened at the wedding, but their entire weekend of the wedding was only like a short part of the book at the beginning, and then the rest of the book is what they did afterwards. So if you're looking for a book about two strangers that meet when they get stuck in an elevator and then she agrees to be his date to his ex's wedding, this is a good one. Okay, next I'm talking about The Flat Share, and this is the book that I saw one TikTok came up on my For You page and I ordered it immediately after that TikTok. So when I heard on the TikTok that this book was about two people that are roommates and that they go months without meeting each other or seeing each other in person, and then that leads to a love story sort of situation, I was like, okay, I want to read that. Like, that sounds very intriguing, and it was. I definitely think that a story like that could only work in a book, so I'm glad that I read this. So the book is about Tiffy and Leon. They share an apartment, they've never met. That's the big gist of the book. So Tiffy's kind of in a pickle because Tiffy just got broken up with. Her boyfriend just broke up with her and he was like, you need to find a place to live immediately. Like, he's basically kicking her out. So she's looking desperately for a place to live, and that is where she sees Leon's offer on the internet. And Leon is looking for a roommate. However, the apartment is a 1-bedroom apartment with 1 bed. This is where it gets a little weird, but Tiffy, you have to understand, is very, very desperate. Like, she needs to find a place to live or she's gonna be living on the street. Like, her boyfriend just kicked her out. She is in distress, and basically the reason she says yes is because she never has to see Leon because they have opposite work schedules. So when he's at work, she's home, and when she's at work, he's home. And the cuteness part of the story is basically where they start leaving little post-its to each other. So every little note, like, oh, like, we need this for the house, or this needs to be taken care of, or can you stop doing this, or can you stop doing this, or I like the cookies you made, or I like this, whatever. Like, they start like doing these little, like, everything you would text your roommate, they do little post-it notes and they leave it on there. And basically it gets to a point where their entire house is covered, or not their entire house, but they have a big portion for every single post-it note that they've left each other, because that is the only form of communication that they have with each other for months. In some way, somehow, there's a love connection that blossoms through those post-it notes. Only reason it wasn't the best I've ever read is because it's very, very slow, and the amount of time that the book covers them like going back and forth, I mean, maybe like because I was just impatient, I was like, okay, when are they gonna meet? Like, when is that gonna be? Like, when is it the first time that they're gonna see each other face to face, whatever. And I think it just took so long for it to get to that point that I was just like, by the time it got there, I was like, okay, I've lost interest. But in the end, I was like, okay, I'm glad I read it. I thought it was really cute. So this was definitely a slow burn for sure, but if you're into those like slower paced type of books, or if you're into maybe like a different type of storyline, I know we all like those like rom-coms that are very, very predictable, I guess you can say, but this one, the story of it and the love story, like the way that it happened, I think it's unlike anything else I've read. So if you want to read something that's very different, this is a very good one to read. Next one I'm talking about is The Ex Talk. I don't think I've ever talked about this one before, so I'm very, very excited. I read this one a couple months ago and I very much enjoyed it. There's definitely a lot to unpack in this book because it is an enemies to lovers, it is a workplace romance, it is a fake dating. Also, there's a lot in this book. So basically Shay and Dominic work in the same radio station. So Dominic is like the newbie, even though they're kind of like around the same age, he's the newbie and she has been there for years. Like, she's worked very, very hard there for years. And the whole like enemies situation starts from the newbie trying to tell somebody that's been there forever how to do their job. So that's where this whole like crazy dynamic starts, where they're literally fighting every single day and they argue like they're a couple, but they're not. But they're like, there's this whole like tension and great chemistry while they're fighting that everybody can notice. There's an opening where they work for a new radio show and Shay proposes the idea of a podcast or like a radio show and calling it the X Talk, where it's basically two exes going back and forth and talking about why the relationship didn't work out and getting the audience into it and just talking about like the ups and downs of the relationship. So she proposes the idea, and then her bosses tell her like, oh my god, why don't you and Dominic do the show and pretend that you guys are exes because you guys argue like you're like a newly divorced couple. However, issues start happening when they realize that they're starting to fall for each other. So it's up to them to decide what they value more, if it's each other or if it's the way that their peers and their audience views them. I really like this book, so Tik Tok did not disappoint. Next book I'm talking about is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I remember seeing this book everywhere on my TikTok. Like at one point I was like, okay, I can't put off reading this book any longer. It's everywhere. I'm so sick of being the last person that hasn't read this book. So I finally ordered it and I read it. I remember after I read it, I was just like, wow, like that was such an adorable love story. Like it's so freaking cute. Like cute, you know? So Stella is our main girl, and she is in a predicament a little bit because she is very smart. She is very successful. She is just like a boss bitch. She considers herself very, very successful in every single way, but the romance situation. So she thinks it's her time to finally get a boyfriend, or to at least finally start dating, but the only damper in that is that she feels like she doesn't have any experience. And that's when she finds Michael, and Michael is an escort, and she basically hires Michael to teach her everything she needs to know about being in a relationship. In the whole practicing of things, they start realizing like, oh wait a second, we're not practicing anymore. There are just so many parts in this book that are so freaking adorable, and I honestly really enjoyed it. So Tik Tok, once again, did not disappoint with The Kiss Quotient. Next, I'm gonna be talking about what I think is the most hyped up book, most talked about book, most beloved book from Book Talk, and that is The Love Hypothesis. I feel like everyone and their moms and their sisters and their aunts and their dogs knows about this book, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I just had to put it in here because it is like, I didn't talk about it in my last TikTok video, and I feel like this one is Book Talk. Like if Book Talk had a face, it would be this book. I don't want to say it's like student and professor because he's not her professor, but he is a professor at the school that she's a grad student at. The big gist is that they pretty much agree to start fake dating because they both get something out of it. They have to fool all of the other professors and they have to fool all of the students. So it's very cute, and there's so many like situations in this book that they're put in where they have to start fake dating. Like there's like a picnic at the school, and there's like an event that he has to go to, and there's like a same hotel room trope. There's just so many situation in this book that made me really happy, and I loved it. So yeah, definitely TikTok did not disappoint with this one. I really enjoyed it, as long as you remember that it is a rom-com. So don't go into it thinking that it's gonna like, you know, change your perception of life or whatever. It is a rom-com, but for a rom-com, I loved it and I adore it, and I think it's so cute. Okay, next book I'm talking about is Shipped, and I did talk about this book a couple videos ago, but I just feel like not enough people know about this book. And the video that I put this book in is my best books to read during the summer video, because it is exactly that. It's a quick, easy, breezy, entertaining read, especially during the summer. So once again, it's nothing groundbreaking, but for a rom-com and for a summer rom-com, I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It's about Henley and Graham, and they're basically working for the same company, and the company that they work for happens to be a cruise ship company. Like, what better company can you work for? They both find themselves kind of fighting for the same promotion. They both get sent out on a cruise ship to the Galapagos Islands in the middle of summer to see who gets the promotion. So it's like a little enemies to lovers situation, which honestly made it so entertaining. I like went through this book so freaking quickly. I think if you lag on it and if you take a long time to read it, you're gonna be like, okay, where's the depth and where's the substance in this book? There isn't that much depth and there isn't that much substance, but it is very entertaining. And I think for the summer and for like a quick situation, like if you're at the beach, if you're on a road trip, I think this is the perfect book that you do need to take with you. It's a little predictable, but sometimes you need a little predictability in a life full of uncertainty. That's good. Somebody write that down. So if you want to read a book about two co-workers fighting for the same promotion on a cruise ship in the middle of summer with the best summer vibes, definitely read this book. Anyways, that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's all the books and all the rom-coms I'm going to be talking about today. Also, a huge thank you to Glasses USA for sponsoring this video. I'm going to have every single pair of sunglasses that I showed. I'm going to link it down below. Also, thank you to TikTok for making me spend all of my money on books, but at least I can give you guys recommendations that way. I think at the end of this summer, I'm going to try to make a video of like all of the books that TikTok made me read part 2, because it's piling up over here. It really is. And not all of them are rom-coms. I have a whole mess of everything. So look out for that video. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys really soon with another video. Bye.